He had nothing but a few coins in his pocket. She had nothing but desperation in her eyes. He gave her his last bit of money, never expecting that one small act would change his life forever. The scorching sun beat down on the crowded marketplace as Adam weaved through the busy streets, clutching a few crumpled bills in his tiny hands. This was all the money he had saved for months. He had planned to buy a small toy car from the street vendor, the only thing he had wanted for weeks. As he approached the stall, his eyes gleaming with excitement, he suddenly heard soft, muffled sobs. He turned his head and saw a pregnant woman sitting on the sidewalk, her face pale, her hands gently resting on her stomach. People walked past her, ignoring her completely. Adam hesitated. His fingers tightened around the money in his hand. He had dreamed of that toy car, but something in the woman's tired eyes made his heart ache. He took a deep breath, stepped forward, and held out his money. "Take this," he said softly. "You need it more than I do." The woman's eyes widened in shock. Her lips trembled as she looked at the little boy standing before her, giving away everything he had. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She reached out with shaking hands and took the money, whispering, "Thank you. You don't know what this means to me." Adam just smiled. He didn't know why, but his heart felt lighter. As he turned to leave, he had no idea that his life was about to change in a way he could never imagine. Because later that evening, a luxury car pulled up outside his small house. The sun had set and Adam sat outside his small house, kicking a few pebbles, trying to ignore the emptiness in his heart. He had dreamed of buying that toy car for weeks, but now it was just a thought fading into the night. His mother's voice called from inside, but before he could respond, headlights lit up the street. A sleek black luxury car rolled to a stop right in front of his house. Adam's heart pounded. No one in this neighborhood drove cars like that. The door opened and a man in an expensive suit stepped out. His sharp eyes scanned the small house before landing on Adam. He was looking for someone. Adam swallowed hard as the man approached. "Are you the boy who gave money to a woman today?" Adam hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, but why?" The man's expression softened, and for a moment, he just stared at the little boy who had given away everything he had without expecting anything in return. Then, to Adam's shock, the back door of the car opened. The pregnant woman from earlier stepped out, but she didn't look like she had before. Her clothes were different, her face was glowing, not with sadness, but with something else. Hope. Relief. She smiled at Adam, eyes filled with gratitude. "Because of you," she said softly, "everything changed." Adam's chest tightened. What did she mean? The man placed a hand on the woman's shoulder. "She's my wife." His voice was calm but filled with something deeper. "And today, you didn't just help her, you helped our child too." Adam's mind raced. He had only given her a few coins. How could that possibly change anything? But then the man reached into his pocket and pulled out something that made Adam's breath hitch. It wasn't money, it wasn't a gift. It was the exact same toy car Adam had wanted. Except this one was real. Adam stared at the sleek toy car in the man's hand, his heart pounding. How did he know? He hadn't told anyone about the toy. He had only dreamed of it, imagined holding it, playing with it, and yet here it was, brand new, shining under the streetlight. The man knelt down, placing the toy in Adam's small hands. "This is for you." Adam looked up, confused. "But why?" The woman stepped closer, her eyes soft with emotion. "Because kindness deserves to come back." Adam's mother stepped out of the house then, wiping her hands on her worn-out apron. She froze, her eyes widening at the sight of the expensive car and the well-dressed stranger standing in front of her son. She looked at Adam, silently asking what was happening. The man stood up, his gaze shifting to her. "Your son gave my wife his last bit of money today." His voice was steady, but there was something deep behind it, something raw. He had nothing, yet he gave everything. Adam's mother's eyes filled with shock and pride. She turned to Adam, touching his cheek gently. "Is that true?" Adam shrugged, suddenly shy. "She needed it more than me." The man smiled, then pulled out an envelope. He extended it toward Adam's mother. "I don't believe kindness should go unrewarded. Take this." Adam's mother hesitated. "Sir, I can't." "Please," the woman interrupted softly. "This is not charity. This is a thank you." With trembling fingers, Adam's mother took the envelope and opened it. Her breath caught in her throat. Inside was enough money to change their lives. Adam saw his mother's hand shake as she clutched the envelope to her chest, tears streaming down her face. And in that moment, Adam realized he hadn't just given away a few coins. He had given hope. And sometimes hope comes back in ways you never expect. Adam watched as his mother wiped her tears, still unable to believe what was happening. The man and his wife stood quietly, their expressions warm but knowing, as if they understood exactly what this meant. Adam's mother turned to them, her voice shaking. "This is too much. We can't accept this." The man smiled. "You can, and you will." Adam tugged at his mother's sleeve. "Mom, who are they?" She knelt beside him, still overwhelmed. "They're angels, Adam." The woman let out a soft laugh. "Not angels, just people who were lucky enough to meet your son today." Adam's eyes shone. "But I only gave you a little bit of money." The man crouched down, meeting Adam at eye level. "That little bit saved my wife and our unborn child. She hadn't eaten all day. She was weak. If she had collapsed on the street, anything could have happened." He exhaled, glancing at his wife. "Your kindness gave her just enough strength to get home safely, and because of that, you saved 2 lives today." Adam's heart swelled. He had never thought of it that way. The woman placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Never think that what you do is small. Even the smallest kindness can change the world for someone." Adam grinned. Maybe he didn't get his toy car that day, but he got something even better. The man handed Adam's mother a small card. "If you ever need anything, call this number." She looked down at it, her fingers trembling. The name on the card made her gasp. It belonged to one of the most powerful businessmen in the city. Her breath hitched. He nodded. Just a father who wanted to thank a little boy for reminding him that good still exists. With that, the couple got back into their car. As the engine roared to life, the woman rolled down her window, smiling at Adam one last time. "Keep being you." And with that, they drove away, leaving behind a little boy who had no idea how big of an impact he had made. Adam held the toy car in his hands, his chest warm with happiness. He didn't need to be rich. He didn't need to be powerful. He had kindness. And tonight, that was worth more than anything.